And the question goes like this. Prime Minister Netanyahu, in response to the horrible...
That's misspelled. It's with a U at the end, but
okay.
Go ahead.
You're always a man of details. In response to the horrible murder in Itamar, you have ordered the building of 500 housing units in the settlements. Do you believe that this action will bring peace and end to the violence to the region? And if so, how? That was the #1 vote getter of the viewers.
Look, first of all, I think that this is not the issue. I think the real issue is not a few houses. The real issue...
No, but because Benz isn't here, I'm going to ask you to answer his question, not the question that you think is the issue.
No, I'm answering.
Okay.
He asks, is this going to deprive peace? That's not the reason we don't have peace. The reason we don't have peace is because the Palestinians so far have refused to recognize a Jewish state in any border. I mean, they negotiated for 18 years when there was plenty of settlement construction. They didn't make it a precondition. And the fact that a few hundred houses are built on less than 1% of the land in dispute is not a big issue. It's disputed land, yeah. We have a historical connection there. You know, my name is Benjamin. The first Benjamin, the son of Jacob, walked these hills 4,000 years ago. So we have some connection to this land. The Palestinians claim it. We need to sit down and negotiate for it. And so far, the Palestinians refuse to do so. You can't conclude a peace agreement if you don't begin to negotiate it. We're prepared to begin negotiating it. They're not. And I hope that they'll remove this refusal, because the only way to get peace is to negotiate peace.
But about building those 400 units?
Well, they're built, you know where they're built? They're built in places that are going to remain in Israel under any fair-minded person knows that the places that are in question are basically suburbs of Jerusalem and Tel Aviv. Nobody expects us to dismantle these places. Even our Palestinian interlocutors often admit privately that they'll have to accommodate that, but they don't admit it publicly.
But
publicly, they do this campaign.
Today, the UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon practically told Israel to surrender and give up all settlement activities, and he said that the Jewish presence in the West Bank and Eastern Jerusalem is morally and politically unsustainable and must come to an end. That's what he said today.
I think that anyone in his right mind knows that this is part of the ancestral Jewish homeland. It's in the Bible. We've been there for 4,000 years. We understand and other people lives there. We have to divide. We have to have some kind of compromise. But it can't be that we'll kick out 350, 400,000 Israelis who live there, and they're in places that, many of them, by the way, were kicked out before the start of Israel, the founding of Israel, by hostile Arab armies. There has to be a negotiated agreement. It can't be by dictate. It can't be by changing and distorting history. You know, we had 50 years of a conflict against the Jewish state and the idea of the Jewish state before there was a single Israeli in any one of these settlements. What was that all about? Mm-hmm. There weren't Israelis in Judea-Samaria, in the West Bank, or in Gaza. This was in Arab hands for 50 years, half a century. From 1920 till 1967, the Arabs attacked us again and again and again. Why did they attack us if they had this area where the settlements are? Why did they do it? Mm-hmm. They did it because they refused to recognize the right of Israel to exist in any border. The issue of settlements has to be resolved. It has to be resolved in negotiations. We're prepared to enter those negotiations. But those negotiations will have to get the Palestinians to say, yes, we recognize a Jewish state. Yes, we'll have to make compromises on our own. Yes, Israel will be here permanently. And so far, they refuse to say that. And most people around the world don't know that they refuse to say that. So I value the fact that we have this direct contact, and I can talk to millions of people around the world.
So you don't